I'm sharing the Jean Grubb Downey doll. Jean lived from 1925 to 2003. She was my mother, and her wildness was actually a manifestation of her activism for social justice. It's hard to completely know the source of this. She came from a small Indiana farm community of 75. Jean and her husband George were active in the civil rights movement while residing in Tennessee from the 1950s through the 1960s. In a 1986 interview about her life, she remembered that when her husband, Pastor George, had extended a dinner invitation to a friend and classmate from Butler University, this was in the very early 1950s, African-American minister who visited Belhaven, North Carolina, which was a tiny coastal community where my father was minister. They invited him to dinner, and he brought along another local African-American minister. Jean says she didn't think of this as any big deal, and she served them the local crab and a scuppernong pie for dessert, which was made from the large white grapes that grew along that coastal community. But the other minister, whose name was Reverend Sir Walter Raleigh Keyes, said, "I've lived here all my life, and I've never eaten these things." Mother recorded that later Reverend Keyes told his congregation he'd eaten food served to him by a white woman and prepared for him by her own hands. Jean was an ardent advocate of fairness and justice for all people, and in this she was always ahead of her time. A professional nurse, she advocated for sex education in the Westford schools and was a founding member of the original Human Services Committee in Westford. The mother of 3 sons of draft age in the 1960s, she joined the group Another Mother for Peace and was an original subscriber to Ms. Magazine in 1972, the country's first national feminist magazine, which she subscribed to for years. Agitating and protest took the form of impassioned letter writing, and we were all convinced that she had an FBI file. In 1968, following the assassination of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., on her birthday actually, and inspired by an appeal in the Boston Globe, Ms. Downey began an over 30-year involvement with the Mississippi Box Project, supporting 2 families in North Carolina and Mississippi with monthly boxes, that is shipments, of food, staples, and often beautiful caftans that she had designed and sewn herself. About her involvement in the Box Project, Jean related that she simply wanted other women to know that there was a woman somewhere who cared whether they had a new dress and whether their children were hungry. Jean maintained that she was proudest of the Westford Women Remembered Doll project, begun with other needlewomen in First Parish Church United as a fundraiser in 1985. Together, over a 5-year period, they created 56 doll likenesses of 12 actual historic Westford women. Dressed in vintage fabrics, handmade with embroidered faces, these dolls represented historic personalities that included Peggy, a colonial slave, a Shaker eldress, a mill worker, a renowned geneticist, and spanned the 18th to the 20th century. The needlewomen also researched biographies for these women and credited the project with launching the study of Westford women within the formal Westford School program. Jean Downey is the 13th Westford Woman Remembered Doll. Jean also had a passionate connection with the Shaker community at Sabbath Day Lake, Maine. When she noticed that the Shaker sisters didn't have time to sew for themselves and were wearing drab dresses, she deconstructed a traditional Shaker dress so she could create a pattern for it and begin sewing Shaker dresses. This was while her husband George created Shaker woodcrafts for the gift shop. My memory is these dresses had 108 pleats in the skirt. Sister Frances Ann Carr, one of the final 3 Shakers at the time of my mother's death, wore 2 of her dresses at a Smithsonian seminar on Shaker textiles and can be seen wearing them in an article in National Geographic. When George and Jean retired from the ministry of First Parish Church United in 1991, they moved to Groton and joined the Unitarian Universalist Church of Groton. There, Jean led the Caring Committee and the Alliance and was a vocal, passionate supporter of the Welcoming Congregation Committee. Jean hated intolerance, small-mindedness, waste, and insensitivity of any kind. In a favorite photo, she is shown reading to the Groton congregation, 10 Ways to Fight Hate.